When I first got the call from Rick Moyers, I was actually in Kansas City for a conference. And I made a point to call him somewhere where if I, jumped and kicked my heels, it wouldn't be too conspicuous. So, because I was hoping it was going to be good news, and fortunately it was. So yeah, I was thrilled to receive this honor.
It's been a hard road, fundraising, just trying to do the things that need to happen, and it's not an easy job. And to have someone say, "Okay, you're doing okay," and to me was just sort of that extra oomph that was needed, and I was just thrilled. I mean, I thought about screaming, but I didn't. I decided not to do that.
I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised, to win the Exponent Award. This being an executive director, especially of a small or mid-sized nonprofit, can feel like a ton of work that nobody really understands or sees, even within an organization. And I think the idea of the Meyer Foundation is always honoring people for the contribution that they're making, and highlighting that to the rest of the community I feel incredibly proud. And I don't take time to feel proud that often, but I think that looking at what leaders can do in this sector and really highlighting that leadership in this sector is just as strong as leadership in other sectors feels, sort of validating.
LEDC, which is the Latino Economic Development Corporation, we were first established in 1991. So we've been in the Washington, D.C. community for over 20 years. We provide services in three main categories: in small business development, in affordable housing preservation, and also in home ownership.
The mission of LEDC is to really help to improve the lives of Latinos and other underserved populations in the D.C. region. Populations that have the same dreams of affordable home ownership or affordable housing, as well as the dreams of having successful small businesses, but may not have the resources right now to make that happen. LEDC tries to give people that sort of empowerment to be able to make those dreams reality.
And so Manny's been leading the organization now for close to 5 years, and he's been a tremendous leader. He's incredibly motivating and inspiring. He takes a very big vested interest in each staff member and has incredible vision for LEDC.
I've known Manny for a lot of years, so when Manny approached me about the opportunity about working at LEDC, I was very excited about that because it was really an opportunity to work again at the neighborhood level.
My name is Fidel Garcia. I was teaching here in Washington, D.C. for around 2 years when I decided to open the studio. And then I went to LEDC, and they opened their hands to me from the very beginning. They were very helpful.
We have a team of 7 counselors, and we serve about 320 people a year.
When I went to LEDC, in my second or third meeting, I met Manny. He went down to a meeting that I have with my business advisor, and we spoke for like 20, 30 minutes about my background, my dance background, about Cuba, about business. And finally, he said, you are in good hands with this business advisor.
One of the things about Manny that I've learned since being with him and working with him for the past 7 years is that he has a really great intuitive vision about not only what the organization needs and where we should move forward, but also what the people need. Because I've seen him interact with his clients, and he has such a good way to empower them and to respect them at the same time.
Manny has been dedicated to the Latino community for many years, so he has a passion for the issues of the Latino community, and he's become known as a spokesperson, and he'll speak out for issues that are important for Latinos in the district, in Maryland, and for the region.
I recently worked with a client. She and her husband started a hair salon in Wheaton, Maryland, and they had a really difficult time with this landlord who is just notorious in the area for being a real challenge for a lot of the small business owners in the area. So I approached Manny and I said, Manny, we have a real challenge on our hands. And so he said, well, what can we do? He said, well, I know a writer at the Wheaton Patch. Let's contact them. Let's get this story out. That just really embodies his leadership style, that he's the type to roll up his sleeves, to really take an interest and to really care about each one of the clients that we're working with.
So this empathy that goes to the clients also goes to the staff, so that he has a way to say, okay, this is what we need to do. But at the same time, what is it going to take for you to be at your best to do it, both in terms of the clients that LEDC supports in the community and the staff.
The passion that Manny has for the organization has also attracted other people who are passionate about what they do.
He's got that fire in his belly that doesn't stop. I mean, he will just work day in and day out. He has our clients in mind at all times of the day. So I would say he's a tireless, fearless leader.
It's a person that is very supportive in the business side, but also as a friend. So it's not just the law, but Manny definitely is supporting me as a person too.
The goal of Academy of Hope is to get people to reach their personal goals. Most people come to us and their first goal is to get their high school diploma.
Basically, I wanted a change of life from where I was, and I want to finish school.
Their main goal, however, is to get a job, to improve the lives for themselves and their family.
I worked at Naval Research Lab. It was a blessing because I worked for 37 years without my high school diploma. So I told myself when I retired that I was going to go back to school and get my high school diploma.
It was just a little frightening to come back to school, period, because I knew a lot was missing, and I didn't know if I'd be able to revamp and understand what they were teaching me. And then the more I came, the more I was encouraged.
LVA and Academy of Hope have been working together on various projects for several years. If an adult learner has completed all they need to complete at my program, then we refer them to Academy of Hope so that they can join their GED program.
When we originally started, we only did GED. We now do the external diploma program. We do computer classes. We have 3 sites. We have a site in Ward 8, we have a site in Ward 6, and we have our main site here in Ward 5. So we've been able to grow exponentially since Leicester arrived.
One of the main things Leicester did when she joined Academy of Hope was exactly what she did with LVA. She came over with a meeting and a plan so that we could work better together. So she sought out all kinds of partnerships and opportunities to make Academy of Hope a better place for their adult learners and staff.
I think the biggest thing that Leicester brought was her enthusiasm and her passion. When Leicester came, we were at a low point. We were really struggling. We were looking for an executive director. We were housed in a church that was falling apart. And Leicester jumped right in, and I actually mean that literally. I think the first day that she was here, there was a flood in the bathroom. And Leicester just grabbed a mop and went in there with everybody else and was mopping up water and doing everything that needed to be done. And that's, I think, has been what has happened since her first arrival here.
I feel that Leicester is a wonderful person. I like her smile. I like how she treats people. I like how she comes in and say good morning to everybody.
Leicester's leadership style is definitely hands-on, and I mean that in a very positive way. Her door is always open to the student that has the greatest need or the most need.
Yeah, so Leicester, she does come to the classrooms. There have been times I caught her peeping in the door because she didn't want to come in to disturb the classroom. I said, come on in, Leicester. Don't be standing out there in the hallway.
I see Leicester as a quiet storm. She has done tremendous things, and she's a very humble person, but getting to know her, watching her in action, you see that she is loaded with information, ideas, and just ways to find new and creative things to do to make the organization better.
I think we have the brightest opportunities in the future that we've ever had, and I think that is because of Leicester's presence and because of her passion for adult education in general, for Academy of Hope in particular, and for each learner and staff person that walks through our door.
They always say that you're never too old to learn. I've been blessed for 53 years, and I went back to school to learn, and now I'm getting it. And they have encouraged me to go to college. So I'm considering that to be my future goals.
If other people can do it, I can do it. It may take me 5 more years or whatever, or 10 more years. I'm not giving up. I'm going to stay at Academy of Hope. And when I do get my high school diploma, I'm going to rejoice. I'm gonna have me a big party, and that's going to be my appreciation for all the staff and the teachers that really took their time out to help me.
There's not a lot of meaningful things for students to do after school. Growing up, I had any number of options that were sports, music, drama, things that I could participate in after school. But when I started teaching in the DC public schools, there just wasn't much of that at all.
My name is Ingrid Melendez. I've been in DC Scores for 6 years since 3rd grade.
So DC Scores is currently in 27 elementary and middle schools, serving over 800 youth.
The fact that we've got 800 kids in the program and this interesting mix of soccer, poetry, and expression and service learning, it's a combination that doesn't occur to people naturally.
DC Scores provides the opportunity to express your feelings through poetry and through soccer.
We see them grow. Their confidence level increases throughout the season. Definitely very shy in the beginning when they come because it's a little out of their element. But when we work through it with the practice and, of course, getting on stage with the poetry slam, definitely can't be shy there.
Some people say our lives are not balanced, so we tell you we always meet the challenge.
When I say I'm associated with DC Scores, the first reaction I always get is, oh, Amy Nakamoto. They all know Amy, and they know the strength that she brings and what she's done for the organization.
Over the last few years, it's been pretty good working with Amy. The children, they see that she's just not behind a desk. She's actually involved. She's reffed their games. She comes out, and she's on the field, and they really respect that.
Students have DC Scores 5 days a week. 2 days a week, they have a 90-minute writing workshop. 2 days a week, they have a 90-minute soccer practice. And every Thursday, we bus students all over the city for our competitive game day.
And I think what makes Amy so special is that she's not only a very strong visionary leader, but she's a very strong manager. She gives her team the space and the autonomy to deal with and address their areas of responsibility as they see fit.
I don't think I've ever heard Amy say no. When you approach Amy with an idea, she says, that's a great idea. Let's try and figure out how to make that happen. So when Amy approaches you with a project or idea, you would never think of saying no. You say, that's a great idea, Amy. Let's figure out how to make that happen.
Amy's very innovative. One of the events that stick out in my mind, they had a fundraiser where she juggled the ball.
She was committing to spend several days downtown in the middle of summer juggling a soccer ball to raise awareness and to raise funds for DC Scores.
Just to have the director of the program out there, it speaks volumes.
This is a woman who was pregnant at the time, and the board members, we were on a conference call, but I think we all realized in that moment that if Amy could step up and do that for the organization and commit for the organization and exhibit that sort of leadership, we all could too.
This program has changed so many lives. It's made an impression on a lot of the children. Our parents are involved, and I think that one of the most important things, they didn't have a working knowledge of soccer either, and their children are teaching them what the inline is, what the circle is for, and what happens if they kick the ball in the corner and versus the goalie kicking it. So they're making it into a family activity.
DC Scores with Amy has been a very positive and very strong place that just has, I think, a great reputation out in the community with the parents, with the coaches, and most importantly with the kids.
Without DC Scores and Amy, I would feel, I guess, incomplete because, like, I feel weird when I don't play soccer. And every time I think about DC scores, it brings back childhood memories. And I guess that made my childhood good.
By creating this award, we wanted to celebrate all of the fabulous nonprofit leaders working so hard throughout the region and really become their champion, to shine a light on the work that they're doing, to celebrate it and to lift it up and help people throughout the region know how awesome these people are.